stage 3. This is the SheCom stage. It's my opportunity to introduce you to our first speaker. This is Gabby. She is both the co-founder of SheCom and CMY Cubes, and she is here today to teach you everything about TikTok. I'll let her introduce herself. Welcome her to the stage.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start this timer. Okay, I'm a little nervous today, I'm not going to lie. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about one of my favorite topics. I always talk about TikTok. If you've come to see me speak before, you know that I love TikTok. And in CMY Cubes, we use it, and it's the baby and how it birthed our business. So today I'm going to be flipping the switch a little bit, and instead of teaching you about just what to do on TikTok and how to post, I'm going to be telling you why you're probably not posting and what's stopping you and holding you back. And I'm calling that the 5 biggest lies and why it's costing you sales. So just to give you guys some credibility first, because maybe you don't know me, you're like, who is she and why is she telling me about TikTok? So I'm Gabby. I co-founded CMY Cubes in 2020. Which is an e-commerce business for educational toys, revolutionizing the way people of all ages learn through play. If you would like a product, come over and I'll give you one. I don't have many, so don't all come over. I also I am the co-founder of SheCom now as well, which I'm very proud about. And I am obsessed with TikTok because it's the reason why my business CMY Cube exists today. Yes, click, work. TikTok has played a huge role in my business. Last year alone, we had 200 million plus social views. We have over 200,000 customers globally in 50 plus countries. And the best part about it is that we have over 10,000 affiliates across our website and TikTok, including TikTok Shop. And anyone can become affiliate. They can just add the product to your showcase. And maybe 10,000 is not even enough because I don't know how many have added it without actually receiving a product. But this session, it's not the usual session that I do where I just say like, oh my God, you can go viral on TikTok, and oh my God, you can just like accelerate your business and get millions of followers, and you know, all the things that I usually love talking about. But this is more about how you can actually get somebody to buy on TikTok and interact with your brand and become a loyal customer. Because TikTok came out with a report, and everything I speak about today, or a lot of what I speak about today, is about the TikTok report, and I just make sure the timer's on. It is. They came out with a report in February, and Ozpost came out with a report shortly after that, and PayPal recently came out with a report. So I love data, and I give you a lot of really juicy nuggets in here that I want you to take photos of. I'm not really a one-word slide type of person. I really like to put information on slides so you can take photos and you don't have to record me, and you can actually take it with you and implement it into your business. So excuse the fact that there's a lot of information here, and I'm going to try and do it in 30 minutes, so bear with me. But in TikTok's recent report, it's called the What's Next report, they talk about how the buyer behavior has shifted. And that's really important. I'm going to take you through what that means. But it is no longer about just scrolling and getting that dopamine hit. It's about conscious decision-making through purchasing. Actually, something I'll mention there, the hesitation that you're all feeling about posting on TikTok today is not actually real. It's not real. It's not based on anything true. It is based on things that were told to you or to somebody else that is old news, that maybe TikTok used to be or was before it was TikTok, because it was actually an app called Musical.ly before TikTok. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys here, who is currently posting on TikTok? I'm going to start with that. Nice. Yay. Good audience. Who's avoiding it because they don't know how? You post sometimes. Who's tried it and then stopped? Yeah. And who's actually posting but you're like have no idea if what you're doing is right, or if you're like if you're going the right direction, feelings. Also, you feel free to come forward. You don't have to sit all the way at the back. No pressure. Okay. If you were here, this is not to point you out, but if you were here last year and you're still not posting, it's been a year. So think about that. But I really, really want to know, if you came last year, are you posting? And if not, how do you feel that it's been a whole year and you've missed out on a whole year of making more money? Because that is the reality of it. So let's get into it. The 2026 buyer shift. I talked about the data. I'm going to bring data in a lot today. So the first trend signal we're going to talk about, and this came straight from the TikTok What's Next report, reality. So most users say they feel a deeper connection to brands that they interact with, that they feel connection with, that they want to be a part of. Connection now outweighs polish, founder voice builds trust, proof beats perfection, and behind the scenes, real, raw content beats staged. I mean, this is something that is definitely in your habits. You're watching content that's real. You're watching content that you feel aligned with. And so is your audience. So back gone are the days of Instagram where we used to post about aesthetics and we used to take perfect flat lays. I don't know about you, but like I studied how to take a perfect flat lay of like a handbag handle with the candle next to it. We don't do that anymore. And if you do, maybe it can go on Pinterest and maybe it can live on your website, but that's not going to work on social media anymore. Trend signal 2, curiosity detours. So in the report, it talks about curiosity becoming the new currency as audiences dive deeper into the journey of discovery. How many of you use TikTok to search for something? My sister got married in 2018 and I was a prolific TikTok user back then. I found my sister's celebrant on TikTok. I just typed in celebrant in Bali. I currently am looking at reviews of products every single day. When I'm about to buy something, I'll look at videos on TikTok. So most users will search within 30 seconds of using the app. And so that's really a search engine. So we need to think about how you can pop up in that search result. Because actually, if you go to the search bar and type in something you're interested in, it's not going to be the most popular videos. Actually, some of the videos will be like 130 views, 130 likes, because it's not feeding you content that's viral, it's feeding you content that's relevant, because it is a search engine. 2 in 3 searchers discover useful things beyond what they were originally looking for. So what that means is they're like, I really need a dress. I've been looking at this Shopo dress for ages. It's a cocktail dress. It's red cocktail dress Shopo. Search. Shopo maybe isn't on TikTok. I don't know. This isn't legit information, but maybe TikTok, maybe they're not on TikTok. And then all of a sudden it's showing me all the red cocktail dresses that do exist. And all of a sudden I'm buying from Fate because now I've just seen a really epic red cocktail dress that has popped up on my search result. So if you're not popping up on that feed, your competitors definitely are. So if your brand doesn't show up in those moments, you're missing out. And that's what I mean by if you were here last year and you're not posting, that's a year's worth of loss of search data that you could have on your website. Emotional ROI, this one is something that you feel when you make a purchase. So we used to talk about impulse purchasing a lot. When I started my business, it was definitely an impulse purchase. And that was something I latched onto. But nowadays, people are looking at how they can feel something when they buy. They're taking a bit longer through the buying journey. If you have a survey on your website, or if you don't, I highly recommend you put one on there. We have one on our website for Zig Poll. And you can actually see how long people have been looking at buying for. And you'd be so surprised because I bet you don't actually know how long the buying journey is. Mine is a product you would think, if you know my products, you would straight away think it's less than 30 days. But about 50% think about it for 3 months or more. And it's a $30 to $50 product. And so that goes to show that people are really being conscious about what they purchase these days. Some more data, and I'm going to read it because it's like literal straight from the report. Australians spent $82.6 billion online in 2025, a 14% year-on-year increase. This is from the Australia Post report. What I love about that number is that people will cry and complain that it's getting really quiet and it's a really hard time because nobody's buying. But let me tell you, at the Sydney airport, coming to Gold Coast, there was a line out of that Pop Mart store. I don't know how anyone wants to line up before waiting for a flight. I mean, I feel like I'm going to miss my flight if I'm in line. But they're lining up because they want to be part of that purchase. They are spending more. Someone mentioned in the WhatsApp group that there's a line for Yochi. Why are people they're spending $8 for a small cup of ice cream? But it's because people are actually spending more, and the data proves that. Billions of searches happen on TikTok every single day, up more than 40% from last year, which means that the shift is happening. More and more people are using it. And millennials and Gen Z are 1.5 times more likely than Gen X to try a brand because of its community, which is really important because it brings back to that wanting to be part of something. So now let's get into the lies, because that's just the data. That's just to prove to you why you should be on TikTok, because I feel like I need to point that out. Like, you need to be, you should be, whatever. You guys know it by now. But now I'm going to go into what's probably holding you back. This is my favorite one, so I put it first. Put your hand up if this is you. 1, 2, 3. Don't be afraid. I'm not calling you out. 4, 5. Okay, your audience isn't on TikTok. This is a really common one. It's the most... I'm surprised not more of you have put your hand up, because this is the most common thing that I'm told when I speak to business owners. My audience isn't on TikTok. Cool. I mean, I could straight up just use you guys as a test pool and be like, what are your ages? How many of you are on TikTok? But I'm going to look at real data from TikTok, which is even better. Okay, ready? Here's the breakdown of TikTok in 2025. 1 billion monthly active users. 14% 13 to 17 years old. 31% 18 to 24 years old. 35% 25 to 34. 16% 35 to 44. And 17% 45 year plus. More 45 year plus than 13 to 17. And if your ideal customer is between 25 and 44, that's over 500 million active adults every single month. So there you go. Your audience is most definitely on TikTok. But look at these numbers. And you might then go, well, I'm only in Australia. Well, I mean, do you really need 500 million active monthly users? Would you be happy with one? Because I would be. So your audience is most definitely on TikTok. And I mean, I could prove it even further by telling you my mum sends me about 7 TikTok links a day. And I'm like, Mum, I actually have a job and I work. But she's just scrolling all day long. And she's in her 60s. And I'm really glad TikTok Shop's not on her phone yet, because she would be sending parcels to my house like every day. So don't get her and whatnot yet. The next one, this is not another lie, but I'm going to talk about the audience. People think your audience isn't following you, and so you can't go on TikTok because you just only have 100 followers and it's not going to work. Well, TikTok actually rewards you if you are posting quality content over followers. So if you are doing the trick of getting the videos right, and I'll go into that a little bit down the track, then you are going to show up to your audience. And what's even better, it's because it's not that they're not there, it's that your TikTok algorithm that you're posting on hasn't niched down into your audience yet, which means your content is not working and you're not posting the right type of content. Because every product, you can try me. Come after me. If you really don't agree with me, come after and find me. Every product has a niche that it falls into on TikTok. Book talk, edu talk, teacher talk, AI talk, whatever you think it is, it falls into it. And so once you can fall into that niche, I promise you, your audience will be there. But you also need to be willing and open to find new audiences, because as you can see in my screenshot, and I use this example every year, so bear with me because I've repeated this example, but Stanley Cup, I screenshotted this last night, is a great example you've got to be open to finding a new audience, because these are the top videos on Stanley Cup, and Olivia Rodrigo even. All of them are pastel colors, and Stanley Cup started as a cups for workwear for people on work sites. So we have really industrial, heavy duty cups. And then they found Mum Talk. And all of a sudden, they created a bunch of pastel Stanley Cups with a bunch of mums. Next minute, they sold out globally, and they can't make enough. And now every other brand is making their own version of Stanley Cups. And you all have one. Some sort of a bottle or another that's represented after this fancy Stanley Cup. So you never know what type of audience is going to find you on TikTok, and you've got to be open and willing to do that. Think about scaling and think bigger. Next slide. You have to be willing to dance or be silly. You got to get up and you got to start grooving around. You got to start doing these ones. No, I mean, I tell you, we don't do any of that on ours. We don't do any of the dancing trends or any of that. But the reason people believe this is because TikTok used to be Musical.ly. It actually started as a dancing and singing app. And so it then became TikTok. And then trends started to look like dancing trends, and people started to think they really had to dance to get their videos out there. But trends are actually not a strategy. They're a quick dopamine hit for your brand, but if they are not embedded in a bigger strategy, you're just wasting time. So you can use trends as one vehicle in your content strategy across all the different things that you post and your content pillars, but if you're just posting trends and that's it, you won't get any sales, and you probably won't get a following either, especially on a brand account. But if you bring it into other content, you will. So what's actually happening here? Well, TikTok rewards content that holds attention, right? If trends can help you get there, sure, use them. If there are some examples that really make sense with your business, then yeah, definitely use them. But if it doesn't fit your brand and you're doing it for the sake of doing it, it's actually making you look a bit weaker, and it will confuse your audience. It won't make sense for your audience. So you don't have to do trends, but you can use it strategically when they fit your brand. And here are some examples. So we've got 3 examples here of brands that post a variety of content across their pages, right? We've got TBH, Rach. She posts trends, but she also posts a lot of product videos and in-office videos and all of that. We've got a acai bowl place that posts a lot of content about making acai bowls and silly things they can do behind the scenes. And then they've got on board with the water splashing trend, where it's a funny video of someone rolling down a hill and landing in a bucket of water, and then all of a sudden it goes to her and she's got water going all over her. And Duolingo, I always use this example, but they're a great account for everything, all the things. But trends is one of them, and they do them really, really well. So does Ryanair. They do them. It's funny because all the Gen X social media managers on the big brands, they do this really well. And you can tell. So how do you know if a trend is going to fit for you? So you can ask these questions to your team or yourself. Does this trend attract the type of customer I want? Can I connect it to my brand within 2 seconds? Can I wear the clothing? Can I use my product? What can I do to make it recognizable? Maybe it's the person behind the brand. With my content creator for CMY Cubes, maybe if he did a trend at this stage, maybe people would recognize him and know that he's CMY Cubes, and because he's a familiar face, it would connect the dots. And does it reinforce what I want to be known for? So you should be willing to kind of get out there and be silly and kind of break the brand guidelines a little bit. But still, do you want to be known for that? Lie 3. You need to post 3 to 5 times a day. Is this something you think that you need to do? Have this been told that you just need to post? The more you post, the more viral you'll go, the better you'll get? Yeah, a few of you. So that one can definitely be true to some people, but not brands. So how often are you posting? If you're posting once a day, pop your hand up. 2 times a day? 3 times a week? Once a week? Okay, very good range here. If you're a brand, you need to focus on posting at all. That's your first step. But you need to remember that you're probably thinking that you need to post 3 to 5 times a day, but you're only doing that because you've been told that. And you need to lean in if you're going to do that. If you're going to post 3 times a day every single day, that's your only job. You are no longer a business founder. You're no longer working on the marketing strategy. You're no longer working on like anything else, just content creation. Because honestly, if anyone in my team told me that I needed to post 3 to 5 times a day, I would absolutely quit. There's no way. That's bloody exhausting. Unless I'm a content creator and got paid for it. But creator advice is not built for brands. Creators actually quit their jobs and all they're doing all day, every day is posting. So of course they're going to post 3 to 5 times a day, and of course they're going to get to 100,000 followers much quicker. But they're posting very different content. When TikTok started, the more you posted, the more you got out there, and the For You page was very different. If you know the For You page back then, it was not based on the algorithm that it is today. It was you could see your followers' stuff, who you were following. You could actually see what was posted recently. Very different. So the more you posted, the more attraction you would get. And there is a fear that if you stop posting altogether for like a week, you'll disappear forever. But you'll be surprised how many times you'll post like a month later and an old video from a year ago will start to go viral because all of a sudden kiwis are popular and you posted about your kiwi tree and people are searching for kiwis, and then now all of a sudden your video is the number. Because I've seen that happen a million times where people are like, my video's just gone viral because it's all of a sudden a trend. So you just need to think about quality over quantity. 2 and 3 viewers watch 40 to 80% of short form video content. So what it tells you is that people actually do want to watch your content, but you want to retain them on one video rather than trying to get them to quickly scroll through all the content you're posting. So instead of posting constantly, you can post consistently, and you can do these 3 things. Create a structure for your brand to start posting quality content. Start with 3 posts per week. And that might also sound really scary, but that's a really good place to start. You can bulk film, so you can film on a Monday or you can film once in a month and just get a whole bunch of stuff done. Try with 3 a week. And pick 3 content pillars and just rotate them. Every other video is a different content pillar. And I'll show you some quick, at the end of this, I'll give you some guidance on content pillars, but you really need to nail that and then just rotate them and just pump out. And use AI, like come up with content ideas. Lie 4, you need fancy equipment. Anyone believe this one? Because I get this one all the time. And people think that they need a tripod, they think they need makeup, they think they need a video editor. But TikTok does not actually like overly edited content. TikTok really likes native, grounded, human content that is filmed quickly, edited quickly, and just posted raw. If you use lights, if you use a microphone, if you use subtitles built in on the video itself, they won't do as well because people know that they're not real organic content. They'll think it's over curated and they might think it's an ad because that's what ads do. And people are very wary of ads these days, and so you've really got to show them that you're leaning into the creator community. So what you actually need is smartphone, natural light, clear audio, direct language. Guess what? You can start filming today. You could just go outside, turn your camera around, and start talking to your camera and post it. I challenge you. If you do that and you come find me, I'll give you a goodie bag filled with things. I'm over there at the SheCom booth. Because seriously, that's all you need to do. And it's all about the hook. You need to use the first 3 seconds to absolutely capture their attention and draw them in so they watch the rest of the video. Because if you can't capturing the first 3 seconds of attention, you've lost them. So what is a hook? Well, did you know that Retail Fest is actually the crappiest content of the whole year if you don't go, right? So all of a sudden I've said something that sounds crazy, but then I've actually said something that makes it sound not true. Like, if you don't go, it's crap because you didn't hear any of it. And then you're talking about why you should come to Retail Fest and I'm speaking on stage 3. All of a sudden you're watching my whole video and it started with something really shocking and confusing. And you can do that in so many different ways. You can just ask AI to give you controversial topics of your brand. You can pick something that people are saying in the market about your product and use that. There's a trend going around where people are saying, like, I'm really sorry. I want to tell my customers I'm really sorry. And then you've got to swipe, and when you swipe, it's like, we're sorry, we brought out the best freaking skincare there is, right? And so it's the hook, and that's what media has been doing forever, clickbaiting. And unfortunately, it is what it is. You got to call it out. It's clickbaiting, but it's because the dopamine hit of humans is kind of screwed, and we've got to capture them in and make them want to watch the video, and then we trick them by getting them in, but then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this is a really good video. But that first 3 seconds is crucial. Quick snapshot, how to hook in 3 seconds. Start unexpected, spark curiosity, and show the payoff fast. Don't waffle, don't fluff. And also, if you get your phone and you go, I'm going to click record. Hi. You've lost 3 seconds in the breathing. That literally, like, that's how fickle it is. Because you have literally wasted 3 seconds breathing, waiting for it to see if it's recorded. What you can do is you can still do that. We're not all perfect. But then you go to your downloads folder or your photos folder, you quickly edit that part out. So it literally goes, hi, like it starts at half the huh. And you're all of a sudden straight into the video. And you need to tell them what your video is about right after the hook. You can say, like, I'm going to teach you why Retail Fest is the end. Stay till the end and I'll have an absolute golden nugget for you on where you can find me. And then I'm going to tell you, blah, 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 and then they stay till the end. And the lie 5, TikTok doesn't drive sales. Who feels like your videos are not driving any sales? Like it's just a huge waste of time. You're just posting for nothing, right? To be honest, when we started TikTok, before I had D in my brand, before I had my content creator, I felt the same way, genuinely. I felt like I was posting and I was just like wasting time and I wasn't getting anywhere. We then got a content creator full-time, pretty much. He posts every day. And what I learnt was, about 3 months in, that I wasn't seeing sales. And I was like, what the hell? This is costing me money. And these are the reasons why I believe this. I expected that when we had a video go 30 million views, that I was going to become a millionaire overnight. And I expected that the minute he started posting consistently, I was going to start doing 6 figures a month. And I truly believed at the 3-month mark that maybe I should just redirect the spend elsewhere. Well, luckily, we hired him in, testing my memory, middle of the year. And by Q4, boy, was I wrong. Because all of that effort and work that we'd put into all of those views, well, all of a sudden, they remembered who we were. And they were looking for a product that didn't exist for their kids' stocking stuffers. And that was the first Q4 where I was completely shocked at the power of organic social media. And that was in 2023. 88% of shoppers say a brand video has directly influenced their purchase. And this is from Tolstoy. If any of you use Tolstoy, it's an epic app. I just learned at lunch that the founder of Tolstoy used to be one of the first employees at Yotpo. And for brands embedding shoppable video on product pages, they see a 23% uplift in conversion, an 84% uplift in average order value. So they trust the brand more, which is why they're spending more money in that first purchase, right? We talked about this at the beginning. We talked about impulse purchasing. Impulse will lose to intention in 2026. They want to justify the why. You need to focus on the why. And so if you're building your video content strategy around one viral video and that's it, and you have that one viral video and you just hook onto that forever, it's not going to work. And if you think you're going to go viral and make $1 million from that one video, maybe that happens. Sometimes that does happen, let's be honest. Sometimes a really, really relevant creator will post a video. We had Vsauce post a video about us. We partnered with him and he posted, oh my God, like crazy sales. That's because our audience is literally his audience, and that's like, you couldn't get a better pick of the litter. But if we're going spray and pray into the fields, it's not going to be like that. And so you need to understand that TikTok builds discovery and trust. It builds community, it builds familiarity, and it builds brand memory. Because when Q4 comes around, when your daughter's birthday comes around, when your nephew's cousin's brother's kid comes around and you're like, I don't know what to get him, I don't know him. Well, get him something that sparks curiosity that you saw on TikTok 3 months ago and you're like, oh my God, that was freaking cool. I didn't want it, but I know he would love it. And all of a sudden he's purchasing. And another reminder about emotional ROI. Don't show the pressure to sell. It does not work. And I love this GIF if you know Napoleon Dynamite. Because you don't want to give away too much. You don't want to be like, hey guys, I've got this really cool top and you're going to love it. No. But you wear the top and you're like, I literally just almost ran over a homeless man. And you're wearing like a really cool top. And they're like, where did you get that top? Right? Different angle works on different platforms. And that's the TikTok first strategy. But you really want to justify the why to buy in one of your content pillars. So whether you're an authority in your space, so if you sell skincare, how much do you know about other ingredients? I know a few really great skincare brands that all they do is post content about what other products have in their ingredients. And they show authority and they take you through and they tell you that if this product is actually really good. Like one of them talked about the Rhode products and they were like, these are excellent products. Competitor, sure, but you know, it makes me build authority, it makes me build trust with them because all of a sudden I trust them, they know what they're talking about and they're not bagging out other brands. But you need to identify the why, build that community and build that trust. I know I'm running out of time, so I'm going to speed through these. 74% of Gen Z and millennials shop via social media and almost half do so weekly. And I put that in there because people always think it's a Gen X or Gen Z platform, but millennials shop there so often. So you want to create content that feeds remembering. I want to get into something really exciting. So just some more stats on how I did it, what's happened. So over the course of the last 6 years, we've had easily over 1 billion views. $1 million in year one, we launched on TikTok, and over 200K customers. All right, okay. This is the stuff. I want you to take photos of this. And this is not verified by TikTok. So if anyone is here from TikTok, I'm sorry. But I'm going to decode the algorithm because I've created a scoring system that I want you to use. I've literally made it like a school lesson. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it Gabby's algorithm. And when I practiced this to my other half, he was like, make sure you say like this is not based on anything from TikTok because it's really important that I'm going to use real world examples. This is true, by the way. The 5-point engagement system is true. The points system is my system. Okay, so TikTok ranks every action you take on a video. This is how I have figured out how the algorithm works. And if you look at all the videos, you'll see this works. And if you look at a paid video, you'll see that there's 0 comments and a lot of likes. A lot of views. That's how you know it's paid, money behind it, but not actually viral. There's no comments and no likes because the video doesn't go viral without the comments and the likes first. Okay, so first thing is like, 1 point. Comment, 2 points. Share, 3 points. Full watch, 4 points. And rewatch, 5 points. Okay? Remember? How do we get out of the 200 view jail? Well, let's try and do this every single time. If we can hit 50 points on every single video, I guarantee you your video will get out there and get thousands of views. I promise you that. Because if you can get 50 likes, 25 comments, 15 shares, this is just one example. You can skin a cat a million ways. 12 full watches and 10 rewatches. It means that TikTok's going to think that your content is doing really well and it'll push you into the algorithm, right? That's how it works. So the reason why the shares and the rewatches do the heavy lifting, well, it really is just common sense. The strongest proof is if someone trusted you enough to share their video to a friend off app. If they're putting it in WhatsApp, you fucking nailed that video, man. You're going out of the feed. And if you're getting a rewatch, that means they've questioned themselves and they're like, wait a second, what? I gotta watch that again. And that means that TikTok knows your video is worth watching again. And so these are the heavy lifting. So if you can double down on getting points on these two key aspects of a video, I promise you'll go viral. I put my word on it because I've tested it with clients in SheCom and I've seen it happen in real life. I've come up with hooks and ideas and I've said, try this. And I've seen it literally work. And how to maximize them. So you want to create content people need to rewatch. Fast edits, loops, confuse them, blah, 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 I'm here, I'm there, everywhere. Like, just make them want to just be like, what did I just watch? Let me see that again. Make a really sexy hook. You got to grab them in. You got to say something really shocking and they're like, I got to watch that again. Make content people want to share. So I save a lot of videos and I share them and then I'll actually rewatch them again when I want to show someone else or I'll want to laugh about it. I use about 6 hashtags per video. I do recommend hashtags. We use them across CMY Cubes on both accounts. And you want to be consistent. You want to start posting 3 times a week. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with my golden rule, which I bring to every keynote that I talk about TikTok. This one's a very quick one because it's not a dedicated golden rule session, but this is the content pillars that you want to focus on in every single video you post. You want to educate, you want to entertain, and you want to empathize. The golden E's, the 3 E's. I've tried to trademark it. My IP lawyer said that's going to be very hard. So I haven't. But you want to tell people why you are their authority in their space and why they want to listen to you. You want to entertain the shit out of them. You want to make them laugh. Like this one. I use this example in every single one that I do because I just love the Sour Patch Kids brand. You go into the TikTok page and you'll see why. But yeah, this is them putting Sour Patch Kids in pasta and saying that they have free will. Funny. And then empathize, telling them why you started your business. Like, this is my journey. Sarah does that really well. Like, I started it for my mum because she couldn't find the right ice. She was using ice and getting water everywhere, making people feel like they want to be part of that buyer journey because they're like, I love a founder story. Make them feel something. So if you can tick one of these on every single video you post, better yet, 2. I don't know if you can do all 3, maybe. Then you're going to absolutely get your content further, especially with a hook and the code, the scoring system. You'll be flying. Absolutely. I don't have time for questions. You can ask me afterwards. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you coming. You can find me on Instagram, Scale with Gabs. I'll be at the SheCom booth. My brand is CMY Cubes. I appreciate you coming today, and I hope you got value out of that.